Welcome back to Tech, Tesla, and Trends. Tonight, I'm looking at multi-planetary civilizations from a perspective of what could we actually do? More of a perspective of Mars is nice, bit of a fixer-upper, but I've always felt that Venus was a better choice because it has the opportunity for us to utilize balloons or zeppelins or any sort of floating platform and to be at an atmospheric pressure and at altitude that is functional for human beings in minor suits. And ultimately, this seems to be a long-term, more sustainable opportunity. With the advent of Starship, large cargo of, say, a floating city of sorts made from balloons or some form of sealed canister might indeed be possible for Venus as a outpost and to collect gases and other things that might be functional from a perspective of a depot in space. Now, the round trip for rockets on their way to Mars, they'd hit Venus first and then on to Mars and then back to Earth. It's an option and something that I've thought about. Not sure how many people have even considered that as the alternative to Elon's big master plan for Mars. Mars gives us a what is it called, a terracentric perspective. Because we can land on it, it's chosen because we know how to build on it. But I think from a perspective of what would be more livable from a human perspective might be airships on Venus or floating over Venus. I'd be curious what other people are considering from a technological perspective. As Starship comes online, what other projects or ideas do you think we should consider for achieving Elon's multi-planetary status? Venus is a good candidate, but I'm sure there's other opinions out there, and I'm, like I said, curious what your take is on that particular one. If there's something out there that resonates with all of you, I'd be more than happy to cover that particular aspect of the technology. From a perspective of what I've found for Venus, it's pretty small. It's there's a couple of blog posts out there, and beyond that, it's pretty sparse. NASA's got a couple of documents, but if there's folks out there that are interested in Venus from that perspective as a potential sister colony, we'll call it, for the Martian colonies that Elon's building, a lot of opportunities there from a standpoint of gases that are available, and also from a perspective of twice as much solar energy is available at that location as opposed to what's on Mars. So there's some pluses there. The only difference is you're not living on hard land. You're floating in the sky. Thought it'd be a change for what we typically talk about here on the channel, but it is a technology, and the trends from a standpoint of that multi-planetary aspect, I believe is coming. And I believe that over the next, 20, 30 years, we'll have more and more opportunities to see where Starship can take us. It seems to me that Venus is one of those locations that ought to be on our early planning lists, and I don't see too much in the way of conversations. So if you've got any great websites or great ideas for how we might go about colonizing Venus as opposed to Mars, I would love to hear your comments. For now, have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.